What up, everybody? It's your girl, Precious Mary. Welcome to my channel, and I'm here going to review Dear White People Season 2. Now, originally, I did review the series as a whole, but I did not put it up on YouTube because I felt as if I really needed to break down each episode. And if I did it as a whole, my review would probably be over an hour. I mean, I rewatched my original review of Dear White People Season 2 as a whole. I think it was only 37 minutes, but I felt as if I missed so many things. So I decided to rewatch the series and just review each episode. So today we're going to talk about Chapter 1, Sam. Let me go back a little. One thing that I like about Dear White People is very similar to the layout of Skins, the UK version, in regards to how in Skins, each episode is dedicated to one of their main characters. And it's actually titled, the title of the episode is the name of the character. So you had Tony, Sid, Cassie, Giles, Chris, Max, Anwar, and so on and so forth. So those were their episodes, and I love that because you really get to see things from the characters' perspective and how they are able to interact with their friends. So Dear White People, I don't know if the creator of Dear White People watched Skins and was like, this is how I want to do the series, but I think it's very interesting, and it's very good to do that because you really get to know the character itself. I have to say this, and I'm going to repeat it again when I review Joelle's episode. I was so happy they gave Joelle her own episode in season 2. That was one of my issues with season 1 of Dear White People, how they didn't give Joelle her own episode. Like, she's the best friend of Sam, and we know that she has a little crush. She has a crush on Reggie. So I was like, she needs her own episode. And I love that they gave her her own episode. So I can't wait to talk about her own. I relate so much to her in so many ways. But anyways, so let's talk about Sam's episode. Sam. So a little background with Sam. Sam, she is biracial, but she identifies as a black woman. Her mother is black, her father is white. And we see her sort of struggle with this. In the movie, one thing that I didn't like about Dear White People in the movie is because she was dating Gabe, she sort of like wanted to stop with her whole her being vocal about the microaggressions of whites, racism, and so on and so forth, simply because towards the end of the movie, Gabe was like, oh, this isn't you. You're not supposed to do this. You know, you're not supposed to be angry. You're the type of girl that likes to listen to, did he say Taylor Swift or some shit like that? And I was kind of upset that he said that to her. I was like, so what if she likes to listen to Taylor Swift? So what if she's this happy-go-lucky person? Does that mean that she's not supposed to talk about things that affect her as a black woman, as a mixed black woman? Like, I didn't like that part. And Sam sort of was like, yeah, you know, and sort of agreed with him. And that's how the movie ended. And I was like, what the fuck? So I was kind of surprised when last year Netflix announced that they were going to have a Dear White People series, because I thought from the movie it was done, especially because Sam was the main character. She's the main catalyst for what is going on in this university. But the series just changed everything about Sam. Instead of Sam saying, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore, she continues her work despite the fact that she's dating she's dating Gabe, a white dude. So I like that. And I prefer the series over the movie. Like 100%, I prefer the series. So in this, in season 2, it picks up from where season 1 left off. Troy, the Obama of the college, he had some sort of a breakthrough. I wouldn't even say a breakdown. He broke the window. He was taken to jail. There was a protest, first of all. There was supposed to be a town hall meeting, and Sam led a protest. And then the white students had their own protest for whatever reason. Um, and then David Hall is where most of the white students stay at. It was caught on fire. So in season 2, we find out that Sam was blamed for everything, for the protest. Even though Troy broke the window, she was sort of kind of blamed for that. And then she was mostly blamed for the fire incident at David's house. And when I get to the last episode, the reason that David's house was burnt down is hilarious. But anyways, so Sam is just sort of like going through some sort of an existential crisis, I guess, because everybody is blaming her for all these things that happened, even though she didn't have a part to play. The only part that she played was leading the protest. So she's about to do her show, Dear White People, her radio broadcast show, and Joelle, she's there with her, and Sam is she's out of it, you know. Lately, she has been harassed by this person on Instagram called Alt IVW, and this person is basically modeled after the alt-right group. And Sam, she's of course, what's the word I'm looking for? Sam is, her attention is on this person who's sort of harassing her online. And even though Joelle is like, hey girl, we gotta film this, we have to, do our radio show, Sam is just not, for some reason, she's just out of it. So the next scene, Sam and Gabe are having sex with each other. And I'm kind of surprised because they broke up in season 1. But then she was having a fantasy. She was, using a vibrator on herself. Ew. And Joelle, she walked in the room and that exchange was so hilarious. So Joelle was like, girl, Sam was like, do you want to go on a run? And she only said that so that Joelle would shut up. So they go on they basically went on a 5-minute run. And, whatchamacallit, Joelle is giving Sam some really good advice and basically telling her, you need to take back the narrative of what is being said about you. So eventually Sam got the courage and she responded back to the alt IVW person on Instagram, and then she went to her film class. And who did she see at her film class? Her ex-boyfriend, Gabe, who is the teacher assistant, who's the professor's assistant. So there's this other black chick. This chick annoyed the shit out of me. Because even when she was talking, I was like, why the fuck she keeps ending with right? Like she kept on saying, I think a documentary is so amazing to see things from another perspective, right? And I just love how the story just delves into such beautiful things. It just makes you wonder about certain things, right? And I'm like, why the fuck does this bitch keep saying right? And once I said that in my head, Sam was like, can you please stop ending things with right? It just makes things confusing, right? And I was like, yes! I just didn't understand why that chick kept doing that, right? So, after that, the part of the episode that got me like, kind of like, are these people serious? Is, first of all, Sam found out that Gabe is making this, I guess, docu-series, and it's called Am I a Racist? So I guess Gabe is going through his own existential shit, and already Gabe is getting a lot of praise for talking about race issues. And Sam is like, I have been doing this for like almost a year, and yet I get criticized. He just starts doing this, and he's getting praised for it. And that's something that does go on in America when a black person or a biracial black person speaks on race issues, whether it's Colin Kaepernick, whether it's to a certain extent Monique, any black person. It could be a celebrity or it can be a black person from the hood that's an activist. We get criticized for speaking about race issues. But if a white person does the exact same thing, like Tim Wise, Jane Elliott, no shade to them, they get so much praise for talking about race relations, you know, and that doesn't make any sense to me, but we all know why that happens. So Sam was a little upset that Gabe, her ex-boyfriend, her ex-white boyfriend, is getting praised for doing basically what she has been doing for the longest time. And she confided in Joelle, and she said to Joelle, I'm going to talk about this on my show. And then she asked Joelle, can you be my co-host? So Joelle, of course, she agreed. So once they were about to go into the radio studio to do their show, there's a group of 3 people, a white girl, a white guy, and an Asian guy. They are basically like the Fox News pundits of the PWI that they attend, Winchester University. If you don't know what PWI is, I think it's Predominantly White Institute. I think that's what it stands for. And they were just saying things like, oh, what did that white chick say? Things that advocates for diversity, for diversity, and there was another word she used, inclusivity. Did I write it down? Shit. She basically said things that advocate for diversity is another code word for white genocide. Bitch, where? So you mean to tell me, and this is how some people do think, oh, because we want diverse things, because we want to add other people from different backgrounds into white predominant space, it's a threat to white people. And she used genocide. Does she even know what the fuck genocide is? What it entails? And I know that this is a fictional story, but there are some white people out there that think like that. It makes no sense to me. And the thing that really got to me is that I mentioned the 3 people that was doing this radio show. They called their radio show Dear Right People, right? RIGHT. I mentioned that there was an Asian guy. And I like that they put an Asian guy there because there are some Asians who do try to benefit from white supremacy by just siding with white people, even though the funny thing is, some of these Asian people don't know once they leave the room, those same white people that they're trying to be buddy with talk about them the same way that they collectively talk about other people of color. So I like that they included an Asian guy. If you remember in Get Out, there was an Asian guy that was with that group of white people that was basically examining Chris in order to bid for him. And that says a lot. I remember if you follow this guy on Facebook, The Love Life of an Asian Guy, he talked about that. And he thought it was very interesting. He is one of the vocal, woke Asian people, and he talks about racism, and not just racism as a whole towards Asian people, but he also talks about the prejudice and the discrimination that Asian people have against other people of color, especially Black people. And he almost wrote a whole dissertation about this Asian guy, in a good way, how this Asian guy in Get Out was done on purpose. Jordan Peele purposely put this Asian guy in Dear White People to basically highlight how some Asians are prejudiced and and discriminate against blacks in order to gain favor from their white counterparts. So in Dear White People, they sort of did the exact same thing, because they could have had the director, the writer, the creator of the show could have just had all three white kids in there talking ridiculous shit about blacks, you know, or them. They weren't talking shit about blacks. Let me take that back. They were talking about how they feel threatened about diversity, you know, and this Asian guy, they could have put all three white people, but they decided to change it up and put an Asian guy there. And you know, I thought that was very interesting for them to put an Asian guy there. There's my notes. I put code for white genocide, nigga, what? When she said that, I was like, do you know what genocide is? But the show, that episode ended with the alt Ivy League, IVW person went on Instagram and put a picture of Sam's family. So it's Sam, her black mother, her white father, and I think the post read, "Your white father messed you up by fucking a monkey. And I bet you she's angry just like you." And Sam broke down, and I was like, wow. And that's when she got the fire to do her show. Remember, in the beginning of the episode, she was convoluted with all the blame and basically fake news that was being spread about her, about what happened that night when the fire broke out at David's house. And now, at the end of the episode, she got the courage, the confidence to continue her show, Dear White People. So I liked this episode. It was a good introduction to season 2. Was there anything that stood out to me? The only thing that stood out to me was the Asian person that was in this white space that was basically agreeing with everything that these two white people were saying about diversity. And it's very funny, it's very ironic that he's there, because Asian people, specifically Asian men, are not given the same diverse roles or positions that's white people have. There's a lot of people in Hollywood that are not in Hollywood, but in certain places here, specifically here in America, that feel as if, for some reason, when it comes to Asian characters, Hollywood is notorious for whitewashing these characters. And it is just now that Asian Americans are being vocal about it. So for this Asian character in Dear White People, he's here agreeing with these two white people about how dangerous diversity is towards white people. It was just mind-boggling to see him say these things, you know. But I don't know if we're gonna see this. I don't think Dear White People's gonna go deeper with this Asian character. I only remember seeing him once in this season, and that was it. We never saw him again. So much for diversity. Bloop. For him. But anyways, so in my next video, I will talk about episode 2, Reggie. Reggie. We're gonna talk about him. And yes, I will put a link below for my friends. We just released episode 5 of our podcast, so I will put that in the description box below. If I do get lazy, I will put it in the next video. I still have my last Black Panther review to do. I still have to talk about Black Museum from Black Mirror. I will get to that eventually. I will. I promise. And that's about it. I know I still do my Infinity Wars video, Infinity War review. I will do that. I'm just waiting for this weekend to see Infinity Wars the second time so I can really get the details together, and then I'll put that review out as well. So I will see you guys, and I'll see you later.